Juice and have my tea. Hello, everyone. Hello. Please turn on your camera. I can see you. Hi, how are you? Thank you. Nice. Thank you. See you. Let's see, we're missing one. Where is this Justice? Juice. He goes by Juice. Let's give him a minute. So how was your break? Did you go anywhere? No, just stay in Middletown and study, huh? Okay. That's good. Don't go everywhere, crazy places, causing trouble. Yeah, let's see. No, let's see where it is. Okay. We're gonna cover chapter 9 today. So you're gonna have your second chapter case, right? Okay, very good, very nice. All right, let's get started. I don't know where Justin is. We only have, let's see, three chapters to cover, basically. If you look at the syllabus, let's look at the syllabus, go quickly. I'll share my screen with you. Screen here. Look at the syllabus. Today is March 20th. We'll cover chapter 9. Okay? And then next 2 more weeks, cover chapter 10 and 11. And that's it. Okay. Basically, it seems that there are only 4 of you, so we can do all 4 of your individual presentations in one day. So it'll be April 10th. Yeah. I thought I talked to you guys about moving your group presentation to the 17th. Did I talk to you about that? Do you remember talking about that? No? Okay. Yeah. See, you see my screen, right? You see my screen? We are scheduled to have your individual presentations on April 10th and the 17th, both days. Yeah. Normally, I will have like up to 10 students. Yeah, I put them in two groups. Since there are only 4 of you, so we can do that all in one day on April the 10th. April 10th, we can have all 4 of your individual presentations done. And then, so we have this April 17th open, okay? We can move remember you have a group presentation, right? Like a group project together. So we can move your group project presentation to the 17th, and then we have no class on the 24th. April 17th will be the last day, okay? But if you don't want to, or you rather keep this original schedule, keep your group project on the 24th. That's fine with me too. Then we just have no class on the
Professor,
17th. Yes, sir. Yes.
uh, Justin just said that he's having connection issues. He he'll join us in a couple more minutes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So basically it's up to you. So basically either you can have the 17th off or we can have the 24th off. Whichever way you want. What's your opinion? I see you nodding. Which way you want to go?
I'm okay with moving it up.
Huh? You okay with moving up?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about others? Jenny, Yan?
I'm fine.
We haven't really started on the group project yet, but I don't know. Up to everyone else.
Okay. Why don't you, while we still have time, why don't you, talk among yourself, right? Talk among yourself, see what you want to do. You're right, Chen is right. You haven't talked about the topic. Um, you don't know when you expect to finish. So I can understand that. So why don't you get together, maybe after class today, get together or find other ways get together and pick a topic. Look at the detailed descriptions in my syllabus about the requirement for your group project. Right? Read that carefully. You can read together, and then find the topic. It could be from the companies. Remember, you can do each one of you can do individual, right? In your individual presentations, each one of you are going to choose an industry. Choose industry and talk about the top three companies, top three players in that industry. Okay? And then for your group project, you're not going to an industry, you're going to one specific company. Okay, you're going to one company. That company could be from one of the companies you guys covered in your individual presentation. So it's up to you. So first, first go first. First as preparation, you need to work on your own individual presentation first, right? Individual project first. Individual, you choose your own industry, and then research on the industry and the three companies. Okay, and then if we get together, you can just choose a company from whatever companies that you have covered, your individual, or choose one that's not included in any of your individual presentations. Could be completely new one, a different one. It's up to you. But first thing first, you need to, as a group, get together to decide on that. Okay. Decide on that. You can divide up the task and integrate your papers or different portions of paper together, put together, and then also decide on how to present it. It's going to be a group project, group presentation. And, basically, the goal here is to foster your collaboration on a marketing project. That's in virtually all my marketing classes. There is the component of individual presentation and that gives you a chance to present yourself, show your capability in presenting your ideas and arguments. And then there's another chance for you to work together as a group, to collaborate, to work on something together as a group. So it's virtually, my marketing courses, just like that. Okay. All right. So you get together and talk about that. So you can do this either on the 17th or 24th. Maybe you can look at your class schedule, exam schedule for your other classes, so to make a decision. Okay. All right. Anyway, so let's go to our topic today. Okay. Let's talk about movie. Yeah. Let's talk about how to deliver value to the customer, from from the perspective of advertising and multimedia and multi-channel environment. Basically, as a manager in a company in the creative industries, you are faced with the decisions you need to make, right? How to deliver value to your customer. how do you manage your multimedia environment? Nowadays, we know there are the traditional advertising media. There are also some new emerging and evolving advertising media and media platforms. And how do you manage several media channels, several channels at the same time and together? Okay. So basically, we are in this multimedia, multi-channel environment. If you look at companies, businesses, they have many choices, many options as to where to advertise, where to send their messages, to the potential markets. Okay, and there is a transformation mediation system. Transformation of mediation system. I know some of your, I know the parents of some of you here, and if you ask your parents, okay, if you ask your parents, grandparents, as to how they use media, they can tell you a different story. They can tell you a completely different story. Think about how you guys use the media. Okay, do you read newspapers, paper newspapers? I'm not, right? What about the magazines? Do you read magazines, paper magazines? Probably not. And you probably get everything from your electronic media, from iPad, your iPhone, or TV, or computers. Okay, but so the media environment is changing. Like for example, for me, I have a magazine here. This magazine is called Academic Questions. Academic Questions. Okay, you see that? And it's published by National Association of Scholars. Okay, they have a magazine. Okay, and I sometimes prefer to read it from a paper media. But media landscape is changing. Okay, and so ubiquity is the issue. Yeah, this is everywhere. Yeah, it's everywhere. Wherever you go, you're exposed to. Let me ask you a question here. If you look around, look at your where you are, maybe your home, your living room, your classroom, or anywhere. Think about today, right? For an average American, how many advertising messages do you think the average Americans is exposed to in a day? If you look around, you see some advertising messages, right? Or a message about a product, a service, an idea, or something. And you probably look at your TV, watch TVs, or look at your iPad, computers. You got some advertising messages, right? Promotional messages, or other just maybe political campaign messages, or commercial signs, commercial signage. How many of them are there in a day we are exposed to? You think, on average, from the time you wake up this morning, and I don't know, you get to do you get waken up by your alarm clock, or you wake up by yourself? Right? From the moment you open your eyes in the morning till you go to bed tonight, how many of those messages do you think you'll be exposed to? Give me a number. Give me a number. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Somebody said something.
Like around maybe 10.
10? 10? Okay. And the other numbers? You said 10 messages, 10 advertising, promotional or trademark or signage. But you mean 10 of you, 10 that you exposed to every day?
The message that stick with us that we actually think about, or just that we're exposed to?
Good question. Good question. That you're exposed to. You're exposed to. You get a chance to see. You may not actually see it, right? Or you may not actually try to or attempt to comprehend, or but you're exposed to. It's in your eyes, the sight, basically. Can someone give me another number?
Are you only counting ones that we look at, like, or just receive? Sometimes I get it in my email, but I don't open it or whatever.
Right. You don't open it, but you get an email. You see the headlines, the headings, right?
No, I don't even open promotions tab.
But you don't even you delete it or you what? You just skip
No, I have like 40,000 emails.
Okay. All right. To contact Jenny, better not use email, okay? Because it's not. So 40,000. That's not. You have if you haven't looked at it, that doesn't count. I'm talking about the ones that appeared at least in your site that you could potentially see. Let's put it this way. Give me a number. Come on. It's not 10. Someone said 10. That's no way. What do you think?
Maybe 10 or 15.
10 to 15? Any other numbers? Come on. You guys live in America or what? You live in America, it's definitely not 10 or 15 or under 20. Okay, I'm talking about the old advertising, promotional, trademarks, signage, all those commercial messages. Think about that. Okay, then we're going to play with you. It's everywhere between 2,000 and 5,000. Do you believe that? Yeah. Let me give you an example here. You wake up in the morning. Let's say you got awakened by your alarm clock, right? You look at the alarm clock. I have an alarm clock in our bedroom, right? It's by Sony. Right? I look at my alarm clock. Right? Oh, okay, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, right? And there's a Sony trademark on the clock. Okay, then I get up, go take a shower, right? Go to the bathroom and take a shower, right? The shampoo bottle I use, my wife's shampoo bottle, conditioner, and other things. There are like 6, 7 different bottles there. Everyone has its own trademark brand name on it. There's all advertising messages. Okay. Yeah. And then I go, took my shower, dress up, go sit down, have my breakfast. On my breakfast, is a cereal box. There's a trademark. There's a sign. There's a commercial message. There's a advertising promotion message on the cereal box. Right. My toaster has a brand name on it. Right. Microwave oven. I have what is my microwave? I think it's called Sub-Zero or something, right? And then there's open your refrigerator, you get a stuff out, you see at least 10 different brand names. I'm sure you have those cartons, boxes, bottles in your fridge that all have their commercial, message on there, right? You go down after you finish your breakfast, you get your car. If you drive your car to school or not, right? Turn on the radio. There's an advertising message in the radio, right? On the car, on the steering wheel, there is a signage. Whatever you drive, Toyota, Honda, Lexus, Mercedes, or whatever. There's a signage there. And as you drive down the street to campus, there are the advertising billboards, business signs for businesses, everything, even public service announcement signs on the way. And at the workplace, study or on campus in school, you'll listen to some radios, you hear messages there, everything message there. And then again, during lunch, dinner, and then when you browse your internet, you may get tons of emails, You may not open those emails like Jenny, I don't even open all my emails. Some of them I don't even look at it, just delete them all, right? But I do get to see the headlines or just titles, and the titles of the email. Yeah. I make a decision as to whether I want to delete it or not, depending on the title. You see, so by the end of the day, depending on where you live, we are actually exposed to 2,000 to 5,000 advertising commercial business messages every day. That's the ubiquity that we're talking about. Okay. And with social media, then you get a lot more. Right? It's constantly there. Right? There is a sociality, in this multimedia environment, and it's also multitasking. That's because we may be doing something, listening to something, also seeing something at the same time. Multitasking. Okay? That's what I'm referring to here. Okay, we are in this multimedia, multi-channel environment. Okay, there is the proliferation of channels. Okay, many channels that give consumers access to value propositions and relevant information. Okay, value propositions by the manufacturer or by the marketer, and also relevant informations about the product and services they can provide to you. Okay, there is an enhanced ability to interact directly with customers. For businesses, they have more ways to interact with their customers. Okay, there is a loss of control over the market, the individual customer, and even the producer's own products and brands. Sometimes, there are things that you cannot control. Okay? Out of control. It's just a loss of control. Okay. We count the points, okay, where a customer gets in touch with the manufacturer or producer or advertiser. There is a touch point between the business and the individual consumer, right? There are many touch points, right? The value delivery process consists of designing, realizing, and managing a system of touch points. You have to manage those touch points, okay? Touch points, and between your company and the product brands and your customers. Okay? They are paid touch points. They're your own touch points, and the touch points you earned. You earned through your own work. Okay. What are the paid touch points? The advertising. Okay. You advertise either on media, get your message to your consumer potential customer. Okay. Then that's advertising. That's a touch point. Okay. By using sponsorship, you sponsor certain cause, certain event, certain activities, sports event, concerts, arts. Then you get in touch with your customer. There's a product placement. You know what product placement is? You heard about product placement? Can you give me an example of product placement?
When like a certain, like, for example, if a Coke shows up in a movie. Oh, recently there's that movie called Red Notice, and then there was a car. I forgot what car, but it was a product placement.
Yeah. And very good example here. Another example would be, you like the James Bond 007 movies? Yeah. Everyone knows the James Bond movies, 007 agent movies, right? The cars featured, the car used by James Bond, okay? Like a really fancy, hot rod, race cars, nice BMWs or whatever, Bentleys. Yep, they're all product placement. It's not the product cars are used by, chosen by James Bond's team, for no reason. Somebody paid a movie producer to have the product placed in. Yeah. And rumor one that was very obvious, too obvious. It was a product placement of Omega watch. Who's the competitor of Omega watch? You know, Omega watch, the kind of expensive watches. You heard about Rolex? You know Rolex, right? That's good. Yeah. And I remember in one of the James Bond movies, James Bond was on the train, in the train car, and a beautiful woman approached him, and just like usual, right? And the woman was looking at his watch, and said, "Rolex?" Asked him, is it Rolex? And he said no. He said Omega. James Bond said Omega. Yeah. That's a clear indication of a poor product placement. Yeah. So definitely paid for by Omega to showcase the name. Right? That's called product placement. That happens a lot in movie industry. Right? There's a sales promotion promoting like buy one get one free. Yeah, or scratch off promotions or rebates, things like that. You can use your independent stores, the stores owned by your company, by your organization, right? The customers can come in and to make a purchase. There's indirect sales networks. These are all paid touch points, right? There are also your own company-owned touch points, your digital tools, all the digital tools, right? Direct marketing, you're marketing directly to your consumers, right? Events, get in touch with the potential customers at certain events, right? Maybe a county fair, something like that. Offline, own the stores and touch points. Okay? There's a direct sales network, yeah? And product package. Have your message on product package, right? Like this one here. I have this something I drink here on my desk. The Celsius something fruit drink, right? They have a everything. There's good way to market your product, and then there is the earned touch points. What was the earned touch point? Reviews. Somebody give a critic or newspaper editor, give a critical review of your work, of your performance. Okay? That's earned. You earn that. Okay? The society recognizes that, and the society even may give recommendations. Right? There's a movie written by this guy, the two guy actually. What's the name? Sisker and Albert. I think called Sisker and Albert. I may be wrong. Yeah, there's two movie critic. They will give a review on every new movie that's in the market, that's be opened, and they will give their own star ratings. Okay, that's recommendations. There's shares on social networks, on Twitters, on Facebook, on social medias, and they share that voluntarily, not paid by you, and the news coverage by news media outlet. So these are all touch points. Some of them you can manage. You can manage. Many of them you cannot manage, like the recommendation reviews by a third party. Yeah, you cannot manage. You cannot do anything about it. Yeah. One of them is, as I said, is advertising. What is advertising? Yeah. What is advertising? We see a lot of advertisement every day, right? In fact, I'm teaching a class called advertisement promotion right now in my regular class, right? And advertising. What is advertising? Advertising is a paid impersonal communication. Paid impersonal communication. When we say impersonal, we don't mean that there's no people in the commercial. There are, of course, there are people, always people there, right? When we say the impersonal, meaning that it's not there's a person telling you, interacting with you, with the customer. Okay, that's why it's called impersonal. Okay, and it can be used in predefined period of time, advertising for certain weeks, months, right? It requires precise scheduling. Schedule your advertising to appear on certain channels at certain time. It can reach millions of customers via mass communication medium. Do you guys watch Super Bowl? If I'm no, okay, I don't either, right? But I do use my Super Bowl commercials in my class. Yeah, actually, made them quite. They made some quite good Super Bowl commercials. Yeah. The cost of Super Bowl advertising this year is, I think, so $7 million. $7 million for 30 seconds commercial in Super Bowl. So you can reach for Super Bowl audience. I think it's over 100 million. You know, one third of Americans, are watching that. So you can reach that. Even though it's $7 million for a 30-second commercial is expensive, but you can reach 100 million people instantly. Think about that. So it's actually quite cost effective. Okay? That's advertising. Okay? Also, there is a sales promotion. You can do sales promotion, right? The specificity of sales promotions as compared to other tools lies in offering an advantage or incentive either to consumers or to retailers. As a marketer, you can offer this promotion or incentive or advantage to either you can offer that to your consumers or to retailers. Okay, and you can do that immediately or you can do that deferred. Yeah, you can give them economic advantage or give them as a gift. Okay, like immediate discounts, immediate product trials. Let them try out your product. Try out the product. Like you shop at Costco. The other day I was at Costco. And then my daughter was here with us, when we went to shop in Costco or a Korean supermarket, she loved those free samples. We all love free samples, right? You love free samples, sample trials, product trials. Okay? You can get deferred discounts, deferred proof of purchase to get money back. That's economic advantage, deferred. You can give immediate gift, like freebies, instant win product contests, the scratch cards. You scratch something, scratch it off to reveal your code to earn something, to win something. Okay, or you can have a delayed, deferred gift like competitions, collecting points, deferred win contest, and sweepstakes, things like that. Okay, that's a sales promotion. Okay. You can use your independent stores, to as a touch points to reach your consumer, your customer. Okay, independent stores can be classified in terms of the characteristic of their assortment. Okay? There are there are stores with a wide range of product lines, like those department store, for example, right? Department store, general merchandise retailers, or there are also like niche stores, right? The selling very specific, right? So the product assortment could be high, deep or low, or the width could be high or low, right? With with depth low and width low, like niche stores, something like stores selling just shoes, right? Just certain brand of shoes, right? And you can have a high in depth, like general merchandise retailers, selling about everything, right? And you can have specialty stores, and not just one brand, it may just be just many brands, but all on the same product categories, or multi-specialty store. Okay? That these independent stores can be your touch point as well. Okay? And then on the touch points, digital tools that we just talked about. And all the tools you can have, your website, your company website, your social media accounts, make it possible for you to deliver your digital content. Yeah. These tools allow company to communicate interactively with pre-identified audience, people who visit your website or who are registered with your social media accounts. You can go with the direct marketing and the personalized means of contact with the target audience, aimed at delivering content solely for the purpose of communication sales, right? Like direct marketing, you can do that. You can go with events, you can go sponsor events. They can truly be considered live communication because the contents are delivered to our target audience that is actually present. Okay, that's one, right? This is what makes events unique among all touch points and particularly well suited to creating extremely rich communication experiences. Okay? This can be individual experience or collective experience and reaching events and going to the events and promoting your product at the events. The touch points, your own stores and other physical touch points. You know, you can have a flagship store like Macy's in Manhattan, the Macy's shop, you know, Macy's store. I remember going there, like you know, multi-story, high-rise building, just the old Macy's, you know. And there is a big store called what's the name of the store? In London. When I went to London, you know, there's a huge store. You know, it's just like Macy's in America, huge store, flagship store. You can have a factory outlet, and you probably have a factory outlet mall somewhere near Middletown. I know there's one near Middletown, right? What's the name of the mall? Do you remember? Outlet mall. You shop there? You don't remember? Huh? Okay. And there is the franchising networks, yeah, or you can have your own buildings in that way. And you can have your direct sales network using your salespeople, using your merchandisers. Merchandisers just buy your things in bulk and resell them. Okay? And there's a call center. Yeah, call center basically. I was once a supervisor in a call center for a company called Intertrack. Intertrack's headquarters in Norcross, Georgia. And yeah, I remember our call center, we have a huge building with a huge roof. Under the one roof, there are about 300 people working together, 300 people working in the call center. And my team, I'm a supervisor, I have a team of 12 people, right? 12 people there, and we all sit on the both sides of this aisle, and each one has a computer, an earphone, and mic, you know, have the equipment with them. So we call center can do a call out or receive call in. So either inbound or outbound calls and to sell the product. Okay. And packaging. Packaging is actually important touch point. It's your own touch points. Okay. The product itself, in the case of physical products, represents a formidable touch point with consumers. In fact, during consumption, pre-consumption, and purchase experiences, the consumers can interact with the product, and the package can be an exceptional means of delivering content and messages. And you can put a lot of things on the package, you know, to help you. Okay? And then PR, public relations. That's a good touch point to have, right? What's the goal of PR? To create the consensus and support, and create an environment that's favorable to your organization, your initiatives, your products, and your brands. You know, PR work, good PR work. PR work often requires the PR personnel within the company. Yeah. Okay. Or you can hire a PR company to do that, PR firms. Okay. It must be emphasized that not all public relations activities fall under the domain of marketing, and like lobbying is not, right? Lobbying, you know what lobbying is, right? The lobbyist, right? Companies would use or hire lobbyists to lobby in the, say, for example, in the Congress, U.S. Congress. If you've ever been to United States Congress in Capitol Hills, you see a lot of people dressed up nicely, you know, and going office to office to congressmen, women to lobby for something, the passage of the bills they like to hear, they like to have. Okay? Even the practitioner, Falun Gong practitioners, we are volunteering lobbyists. I remember we went to the Capitol Hill many times, many years over the last 20 some years to lobbying our congressmen to pass resolutions to condemn the Chinese Communist Party or Chinese communists for persecuting Falun Gong practitioners in China. That's lobbying too. Okay? Of course, we are not here for commercial reasons, for business reasons. Many lobbyists are lobby for business interest. See, like maybe you are the lobbyists for petroleum industries, for oil companies, or for defense companies, or for farmers, or whatever. We are, of course, there lobbying for the human rights and those issues. Okay? Also, viral marketing. That's also as a touch point, but it's earned. It's earned. It's not your own control, but you earn. Right? One thing is called viral marketing. There's a number of activities aiming to create content that consumers will voluntarily pass on via social networks. That's why it's also called word of mouth, right? In Chinese, we call it the 口碑, word of mouth. And since they're voluntarily passing this along, it would trigger a self-replicating viral process. It trigger a self-replicating viral process. So you're creating, so that's why it's called viral marketing. It's like a virus, reproducing and spreading. Okay? And so viral process is creating a buzz. That's why it's also called a buzz marketing. Create a buzz. That buzz is everybody's talking about every day, but it's spreading it. Everybody is paying attention to it. Okay? There's also the what we call the guerrilla marketing. Yeah, there's a low budget, unconventional advertising activities like using graffiti, sticker bombing, flash mobs, micro events, grassroots marketing, and so on. Right? These initiatives are done in a clearly delineated time and place, which is where the guerrilla comes from. Okay? And they tend to have high impact on the public. They have high impact on the public. So they actually work, right? Actually work. Okay? That's guerrilla marketing and viral marketing. Okay? The way for you to manage your communication process, remember advertising is communication, impersonal communication, right? There are also touch points you are in communicating with your potential customers. Effective communication calls for the careful planning and integration of content and media so that the messages that reach target audience are homogeneous and productive. Okay, so basically you start out with identifying your target audience. Okay? If you want to say advertise, or if you want to spread out some communication messages, right? Yeah, who's your target audience? Who is your target audience? Right? Who has the most potential to purchase your product? Right? You identify your target audience, right? And then you need to set your communication objectives. What's your objective in forwarding this communication? Are you trying to inform them, let them know your existence, or you try to convince them, right? Making them believe that you have a better alternative, or you want to persuade them to go make a purchase. And so you set your communication objectives. And then you need to design your content, design your advertising, design your mass communication, design whatever you want to, the contents of that, right? Then you need to select your touch points. Touch point we just talked about, right? You have your own touch point, your earned touch points. You have your, all different touch points, right? Also, your media. Media, you want to use the internet or use a traditional television or radio, magazines, newspapers, yellow books, or billboards, or you use social media. Okay? You release the campaign, start the campaign, advertising, marketing, communications campaign, and then eventually you need to measure your results. Measure results to see if this communication process worked or not. Okay, that's the whole process here. Okay, and the target audience. What's essential to remember is that it's not enough to simply identify these macro groups. The organization needs to profile your target audience. You need to have a profile of your target audience, right? Profiling. What's the profile? Profiling is based on personal traits of the customers and the consumption habits of your customer, potential customer, the typical product use, and above all, the habits and preferences with regard to communication media, right? And we call them the media habits. Remember in the beginning of the class today, I asked you, what's your media habits, right? How do you get your news, right? For me, for us, actually, we probably get the news mostly from now social media or online media. We don't get media news from TVs or radio anymore, right? That's a changing news media habits. And then how to set your communication objective, right? Your communication objective. The common denominator to classify the objectives is the reference to three spheres that are activated during the various stages in the consumer experience or corporate clients selection and use of creative product. Right? The three spheres are cognitions, affects, and behavior. Right? What's cognition? The cognition is the process of getting them to know, to know, to understand, to know, to have knowledge about your contents. Okay? Affects, feelings, emotions. And hopefully your communication will change the feelings, change the emotions, change the liking or disliking about your product. That's affective, affects. And then what's the behavior component here? Make the purchase. And make them more like, make them want to move, have the urge, have the impulse to go ahead, get the ticket, or buy the product. Okay? That's your communication objectives. Then in the next step, you need to design your content. Okay, design content. That's the creative decisions. Creative decisions in advertising. Okay, it's all about what to communicate and how. Right? We have seen some good commercials, good advertising, some bad ones. And it's all about what do you want to communicate and how do you gonna tell the story, what and how. Okay? What has to do with the object of the communication, right? What an organization wants to transmit to your audience. What is it that you want to transmit? Okay? That's your object. Okay? The how part refers to the mode of communication, the combination of codes and techniques by which the content takes tangible form, like text. In print advertising, you have a lot of text, right? Images in print, and also in the TV ad, you have like images, the formats of your contents, right? The graphics, the pictures, so drawings, so on and so forth. Okay? Creating communication content is an activity that often requires specialized competencies. The designers must be very creative designers. They have to be creative. In advertising agencies, they have very creative people, super creative, super innovative, very original. They always come up with very, very unique and new, novel ideas. The designers, all right, creative agents. This explains why companies and nonprofits usually commission communication agencies, like advertising agencies, okay? Advertising agencies, to handle everything from content design, creation, production, to airplay. Play in the air, meaning play on TV or on radio or even on social media. Okay? So agencies like ad agencies, and so I have a friend who works for an agency in New York City, in New York City, in McCain. Her name's Ping Yi, and she actually, she told me that they have some very, very talented, people working in the agency, constantly coming up with very creative ideas for the advertisement. Does anyone know Ping Yi? Ping Yi, Ping Yi Noto? Okay. That's the designing content, okay? Creative decisions, right? The companies need to provide a vital input upstream from content creation by compiling a communication brief. A communication brief, this document. Oftentimes, the agency will have this communication brief and basically summarize their key things they want to have in the communication, advertising, and to get their customers' approval before they commit. Okay, so what's in the brief? Your information about on the market. What is the market like? Okay, information on the market position of the company. Your company, your product. What's your market position? How is your position compared with that of your competitors? Okay? Information on the object of the campaign, the organization of that, the product, brand, or activity. Right? You need to have a profile. Remember the profile? Profile of your target audience. You say, hey, this advertisement, we're targeting young professionals, or we're targeting college students. Right? That's a profile, right? Young professional students, if it's just college student, anyway, between the age of 18 and 22, have no income and no money, right? Very young and energetic. But if it's a young professional, it's probably between 21 and 35, right? And in the job, maybe for a few years, with good income and blah blah blah. Okay? That's a profile. And you need to tell your communication objective. Remember your communication? What's the objective of your communication? You want to persuade people, you want to inform people, you want to change their attitude, or you want to persuade them to buy. Your communication objective. Okay? And previous campaigns. Yeah. What have you done previously in advertising campaigns? And what is going on with these campaigns? Right? You also want to talk about the competitive strategies and campaigns. If you're an agency working, for example, for General Motors, you better talk about the competitive strategy, by Ford or Toyota or Honda or Tesla, the other companies, right? Your competitors. Then the budget, of course. So, so in designing the content, the creative decision is extremely important. Okay? At the heart of any campaign is the content or the message itself. Content actually itself. Yeah. A widely used model for constructing an advertising message specify the following here, right? What is the main benefit? What's the main benefit to customers? The reason why you're providing this benefit, right? What's your supporting evidence to show that you can indeed do that? Yeah. And what's your what kind of mood or tone of voice should you have in the content? Right? You need to consider all these benefits, reasons, evidence, and mood and tone to come up with your message. That's how you create your advertising messages. Okay. Also, in the creative decisions affects your web design and also your viral campaign. Yeah. Basically, web design essentially is the company's leverage its website deliver a continual flow of content to an audience that can be pre-identified, made of people who have learned about the site through other touch points. Okay. And also viral campaign. Viral campaign. What's a viral campaign? Okay. When designing a viral campaign, your company takes into account the mechanism that circulate messages in the social networks. You know, maybe that's a social network here, right? You start from person A to B, C, D, E, F, and it goes all over the place. Right? That makes it viral, right? Remember in viral marketing, as consumers, voluntarily spread your message, share your message with others, make it viral. Okay? Also, to select your touch point or the selectable points, there are some indicators you need to pay attention to, right? The effectiveness of your touch points. That's the reach, frequency, and GRP. What is reach? What is the reach of a media? Remember media reach? We talked about it earlier. What is the reach? Come on, guys. What is reach?
The amount of people you can reach.
Okay, yeah. How many people you can get them to access or to know, to hear or watch, right? Frequency, how often do you run the ad, right? What's GRP? Gross rating points, right? Gross rating point. Right? And you use the gross rating points of a show of TV program to see how effective that communication is. And also there's the efficiency issue, right? And what is the cost? If you have say two newspapers to choose from, right? And or two TV channels to choose from, or you want to advertise on Super Bowl or versus Olympic Games, for example, right? So you have to compare the cost, right? And one thing we use is called the CPM right here. CPM is cost per thousand or called milli. Remember, this is not million, okay? It's not a million people. It's cost for you to reach 1,000 people. Cost per milli, right? CPM, right? Or you can look at compare the cost per rating point. You know the media's rating, gross rating point, and the cost of that. Or cost per impression, or CPI, cost per impression, like internet, like advertising on the internet, like how many people get to see it, right? So the choice of touch point is contingent on the objectives and budget of the single communication campaign. And so depending on your objective, right, and your budget for your campaign, then you choose your touch point. Okay? Also, there is intensity issues. Right? How intensive you want this campaign to be. When you advertise, you want to advertise continuously. We have seen companies advertising nonstop, continuously all year long, right? Over. And some companies choose occasional. They may run the ad for like a month or two, they stop for a month or two, and then resume and stop, resume pausing. Yeah, can do that, right? Then how do you measure the effects of your communication? Okay, you can measure that the pre-activation versus post-activation. Okay, you can look at your touch point, the object, or the content. Right? You can do concept test, pre-activation, and concept test. Would this advertising idea work? Or would this product concept work? Right? Copy test. Yeah. When you have a copy for your print advertisement, for example, the words you have in the ads, right? Which version is better? Which copy is better? And you have to do a test to see which one is more popular, which one is better perceived, which one is better understood, which one is better in persuasion. Okay? And also you can do like a visibility awareness test, attitude image test, frequency of usage test, usage habits test. You can do all these tests to measure the effectiveness. And you can do recognition. Can people actually recognize your brand after seeing this communication message, right? Do they recall? I think Justin probably said something earlier today when I was asking you about how many ads we're exposed to every day, right? It's depending on how much attention you pay to it. Yeah, you see it, do you understand it, and do you recall it? And you recall. Okay? Remember I said, we're exposed to 2,000, anywhere between 2,000 and 5,000 advertising messages every day. How many do you recall? Of the ones you saw yesterday? How many do you recall? Well, not many, not many. Okay? And top of mind impact, impact on attitudes, your image impact on behaviors, etc. These are all things you can measure. Okay? Advertisers do measure that. Okay? Also, distribution, yeah, the distribution decisions, yeah, that regarding distribution process are often labeled as go-to-market, and the design of your channel, right? Retail management, trade marketing, these are all the distribution, and distribution, go to the market. Right? Let's talk about the channel design. Right? What is channel? Distribution channel, and distribution channel is a set of actors that participate in the distribution process. That is, activities they carry out to give final customers access to product and services offered by the producers. Okay, that's distribution channel. Okay. These actors are generically called distribution or commercial intermediaries, or the middleman. Intermediaries, middlemen. Channel design simply refers to the decision regarding the architecture of the distribution channel. That's a channel design. Okay? There are two dimensions of channel design. Okay? There's a vertical dimension and horizontal dimension. Okay? The vertical dimension is a number of intermediation stages between product and users, producers and users, and the nature of the agreements and regulate them. That's a vertical dimension. Horizontal dimension instead relates to the distribution formats and the number of intermediaries in each one of them, in each format. Okay? That's in your channel design. Okay? In channel designs, the number of intermediation stages, there could be direct channel, production to customers. Okay. What would be a good example of companies doing that? Can you think of a company that sell directly, market directly to customers? Do you know of any company? They make a product, they sell directly to customers, direct channel. Do you guys use the Dell computer? Does anyone use Dell computer? No? What computer do you use? What computer do you use?
Mac.
What's got NAC? Okay. All right, maybe use iPad or Apple, yeah, Macintosh, right? The Dell, yeah, I'm using Dell actually. This is actually not me. This is my they, they bought Dell. Yeah, Dell computer actually sells direct to customers. Yeah, they don't sell. They don't go through intermediaries. Okay? But the other products like Coca-Cola, the can of Coke you drink, right? It goes from Coca-Cola production to wholesale to retail and then to customers. So it's a very long channel. It's indirect, it's long. Some maybe go to production to retail to customers, right? Some you go to wholesale again, or wholesale as well. Okay? That's channel design. Okay? Also in channel designs, there are other important decisions you have to consider and make. There are the logistics decisions, transportation, warehousing, packaging, and the assortment. With assortment, selection of categories, products, and brands you want to carry. Uh, In-store communications, out-of-store communication, and promotion. That's assortment, product assortments. And additionally, sorry. Hi, hi, Alice. I'm in class right now. Sorry. 我在上课呢，不能接。OK。And also the additional services that you can provide, in channels, like credit. Some channels offer credit, credit to customers, right? Options in payments, consulting, training, post-sale services, things like that. Okay, that's channel design. Okay, and also there is are different levels of contractual integration. Yeah, companies may have three different options to reach your customers. And you can use have guaranteed access to their offering through owned touch points, right? You can turn to independent intermediaries and set up distribution contracts, okay? Or you can use special contracts, where the trade-off between control and investment risk is regulated. Yeah, you can go with the franchising, franchise, right? You're probably very familiar with the franchise restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, they're all franchise. Yeah. Or you can go with exclusive distribution. Exclusive distribution, your product that can only be sold or purchased through certain store. They have exclusive rights of distribution. That. And also when you select your distribution format, the distribution format is a combination of the assortment and additional services offered by the offline or online stores. Okay? The fact that the most influence the choice of distribution formats are your target customers, and you want to serve an image you want to project to the target. Selecting a number of intermediaries, you can have the two major distribution strategies here. Right? That's the extensiveness of distribution channels. You can have intensive distribution versus selective distribution. With intensive distribution, you use as many intermediaries as possible. A Coca-Cola product, for example, right? Coca-Cola. Where do you see Coca-Cola? It's everywhere, right? You see in supermarket, in department stores, in mom and pop stores, convenience stores, your vending machines everywhere you can see, right? Or you can have selective distribution, right? Only a few select intermediaries with a specific characteristic. And there also in your channel architecture, you consider vertical dimensions and horizontal dimensions. Vertical dimension represents the strategic channel decisions, and horizontal centers on how operationalize your prior decisions. Okay, let you read that. And retail management, Okay. Retail management, retail stores, retail stores are the last step for your product to reach the customer, right? The management activities involved if an organization opts to open stores on your own, right, are entirely different from the production activities. And retail management involves making decisions about product assortment, price, and communication. Okay? And there's a term called the servicescape. What is servicescape? The set of stimuli triggered by the external and internal design of the store, the layout of the space and displays, distinguishing symbols, in-store communications, and obviously the product assortment, complementary services, and the interaction with the sales personnel. Okay. I just bought something today from Home Depot. Yeah. The servicescape at her Home Depot. If you've ever been to Home Depot, you know, right? It's very different from another store right next to my Home Depot, the Target store. Target, the department store, versus Home Depot. They're very different servicescapes. Okay? The display, the symbols, store communications, and assortment, you know, services, interaction with the sales personnel is very different. At Target, there's virtually no personnel there to talk to. You just go grab your own stuff. In Home Depot, the good thing I like about Home Depot is, you know, when I buy something today, we just installed in our yard. You know, I have a house here, this house here, you know, in the yard. We have a big tree, you know, big oak tree. How big is the oak tree? How tall? I don't know. I once tried to measure that. I think it's over probably 70, 80 meters high. Very high, big, tall tree, you know. And it's huge. It covers a huge area. Good lot of shade. That's good shade. The problem with the big tree is, you know, there's no grass. Grass cannot grow around the tree. So because the big tree sucked up all the nutrients from the soil. So I have to use something to kind of like set a boundary around the tree and put some big pine nuggets in there, you know, and do that. In deciding on what to use, there's a guy in Home Depot. He really helped me. Great service. And he talked to me about different options, how to choose the things that I should buy. Very, very nice. Yeah, very interesting and nice. Retail management, you need to consider the sequence of mechanism that influence the attention and evaluation of consumer in the store. Okay, I'm gonna skip that. Let you read that. Okay, trade marketing. Okay? There's also the trade marketing. What is trade marketing? You're marketing to the trade, to other business, not to consumers, right? For a company, distribution partners are customers in every sense of the word. Your distribution partners are your customers, even though it's not an end user, right? Your company needs to segment and select your distributors, identify their perceptions and expectations to ensure they are satisfied, and decide which value proposition to offer them. Okay? This in turn determines the marketing decisions and activities to carry out for these special kinds of customers. Yeah, we call this trade marketing. Marketing to the trade, to your distribution partners, okay, not to your end user consumers. Okay? That's trade marketing. Okay? In trade marketing for a company, is imperative to assess the impact that the listing of this product has on the distributor's revenue and costs, and that is their profit. Okay, so the impact affecting their costs and their revenues, and that affects the logistical concerns, product management, and competitive, you know, situation. Right? The revenues, potential negative.
Lingao San Frank.
Sorry, I make that. 哎，高姐啊， 现在不方便，你稍等一下，我过一会儿我下课了，我给你打过去啊。OK，yeah, thank you，拜拜。Okay, that's trade marketing. Okay. And also for your multimedia and multi-channel integration. Remember, you have many media to use, right? You have many channels to consider, right? And so when you plan this together, you need to consider your pre-consumption experience, purchase experience, consumption experience, and post-consumption experience, right? In different stages of this, with many media, many channels, you need to have you consider your pre-consumption, you consider your touch points, the things you can use in advertising, in stores, sales staff, website, accounts, social media, reviews, and recommendations. You need to consider that in pre-consumption, during pre-consumption, right? In the you need to have a synchronic integration of all these. Okay? During their purchasing purchase stage, you also consider advertising, stores, staff, website, account, etc. Okay? And during the consumption experience, you need to look at your touch points, again, all the touch points, and come up with this integrated efforts. And in post-consumption as well. So that's how you're going to integrate all your channels and all different type of media in order to be successful in the market. Okay? I think that's all I have for the slides. I think that's the last one. Yes, it is the last one. Okay, let me close that. Okay, I guess we're ready. Yeah, you ready for Yu Yang's presentation? Okay, very good. Let me turn this over to her. Stop sharing this. Stop sharing. Close my PowerPoint slides here. And let me make Yu Yang the presenter. Okay, Yang, you are the presenter, no?
Okay, yes. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet. Now we can. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I'm doing Piccolo Teatro di Milano, and it's integrated marketing communication strategies for product promotion. So some of its background is that the Piccolo was founded in 1947, making the oldest permanent art theater in Italy. Its inspiration was to create, oh, there's a typo, sorry, to create a municipal theater that offered cultural excellence, accessible to the widest possible audience. And their slogan and mission is Art Theater for All, and it is seen as the ideal cultural hub in all of Europe. So from
You know what the city is? The city
the city,
is a big. What city is this? Do you know?
oh, I'm not too sure.
Okay, okay, that's all right. Because I'm going to Europe. You know, I'm going to Italy in summer, so I want to see if it's close.
It's
Close
in
by. In Rome or somewhere?
Milan.
In Milan. Oh, in Milan. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Milan. Yes. Okay. Very good.
Okay, so from the very start, the Piccolo had a reputation for international vocation and a focus on education. It provided various educational paths through seminars and workshops that are in collaboration with the world's leading universities and drama schools. They organized tours all over the world for its productions, and in 1991, they became a member of the Union of Theaters in Europe, whose aim is to promote cultural activities among European countries through continuous collective exploration of European identity and the role of culture forming this identity. In recent times, things have changed, and the demand for performing arts has become highly fragmented. Digitization has made traditional touchpoints, such as advertising, like through mass media, much less effective than it was back when technology wasn't as advanced. And Piccolo immediately recognized this reality, and they came up with a new communication strategy that incorporated the digital aspect along with the traditional. So they created websites with online ticketing systems, a web TV with news channels, shows, cast interviews, and even a YouTube channel. And they have various social media accounts. And there is also an app where users can keep up with what is currently playing. And the results have been quite remarkable. So they have over 123,000 members in their community and over 100,000 fans on social media. So the touchpoints were combined to fit the specific object of communication, whether it was for the entire season, a specific event, or a single show. This was a system that made the communication much more efficient. And in order to make the multi-segment market strategy even more effective in its reach, they categorize their shows as ABC based upon the awareness, strength, and potential public appeal. So A is an access show. It's ideal for any spectator because it's immediately understandable in terms of script and production. And they usually have a couple of elements, such as like the title, directors, or actors, that generate a high level of awareness and recognition. Like it's like very well-known names generally. And B is enriching. They have fewer elements of awareness and they need a more knowledgeable audience who are well-versed in performing arts, combined with the traditional touch points, like I mentioned before, like the advertising through media. And C is research. This C shows have even fewer elements of awareness, and they may have elements like the genre languages that are not widely known. Communication is exclusively direct with carefully identified targets. An example of a show that they classified was The Odyssey. So Piccolo classified The Odyssey as an A show, as the title, original author, and the director, who was Robert Wilson, are pretty distinctive and recognizable. The marketing team then identified the strength and weakness of the piece so as to better target specific audiences. So the strength was obviously the title, director, and also the value of the Piccolo brand. And the weakness was the lesser known English poet retelling the story and the language, which was told in modern Greek. So they tried to transform the weaknesses into points of interest. The lesser known poet became an opportunity to discover a new author, and the language inspired seminars for the university students majoring in the language, as well as discussions held in other languages about the current events in Greek. Question. First question is, what was Piccolo's communication strategy, and how did they get their information to their audience?
Good question. Come on, guys. Answer Yu Yang's question. How did they get the information to their audience? Think about what we just covered today. Come on, we talk about the channels, right? We talk about medias, right?
Was it to increase their exposure?
Okay,
Kind of like through the
through what? Yeah.
yeah. There's a few ways that they tried to increase their exposure.
What are the ways? Yeah, basically. What are the ways? What are the channels? Come on, you can't. Yang just talked about it, right? Minutes ago. She just told us, wonderful, give a wonderful presentation. You don't remember any of them? Come on. You want to flip the pages, slides, so that you can see it again?
Yes. So a couple of the strategies that they came up with was creating social media accounts, and also combining the multi-segment market strategy was combining the new digital features with the traditional touch points.
Websites, web TVs, social media accounts, right?
And an app.
Yeah.
Number 2, what are the characteristics of an A show?
The Odyssey and A show, right?
Yeah, the Odyssey is an A show.
Yeah. A show. Well, remember this is a well-known actor, director, right? Well, how many type of shows did they identify? Did you tell us? 3. Yeah, very good. What are the 3? A,
B and C.
B, and C. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Tell us more about the A. What's A show? Wow. Gentlemen, I have 2 gentlemen here haven't talked.
Ideal show.
The ideal show?
That's what I remember.
What do you
It's
say, Yang?
it's the ideal show for spectators and newcomers, I suppose. Like people that haven't been watching theater for a while. New arrivals.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it's ideal for any spectator, and they have a couple of elements that are very recognizable.
Yeah. Access show. You reaching, and what the third one? Can you go back again?
Yes.
You reaching fewer elements of awareness is more knowledgeable audience, well versed performing arts, and sees the research, even fewer elements of awareness. They have elements, genres, and non-widely known communications with direct. Yeah. Okay. Very good. If Shen Yun, let's just for example, if Shen Yun is to perform over there, which category would this be? Would Shen Yun be A, B, C here? Do you think?
Um, I think it'd probably be a B.
B. Do you agree, Jenny, Yan, Justin?
Yes.
Yeah, I would do to agree too. It would be you even C, right?
Yeah.
The people probably don't know too much about the classic Chinese dance, but Shen Yun probably never heard about Shen Yun. Or may now know more, but still they need to do a lot of research to find out. Right? Hey, very good. Go on.
And the third question, why are the shows further divided by their strengths and weaknesses?
Good question. Where the shows divided by strengths and weaknesses. Come on, guys. Can answer? Well, yeah, you have to tell us.
I think I mentioned it very briefly.
Mhm.
Hang on. Oh yeah. So the marketing team, they generally try to identify the strengths and weaknesses so as to better target specific audiences.
Mhm.
I think for the Odyssey, they actually divided it into the audiences into further segments. So there was like an educational segment that were
Mhm.
divided by university and drama students, high school students, and another group.
Mhm.
So uh, for like the university students, for example, they targeted them because so that they could hold seminars for the university students who were majoring in that language. So it
Mhm.
made sense to use a certain approach with them.
Yeah. If again, if it's Shen Yun show, for example, Shen Yun to perform there at Piccolo, right? And what would be in their definition of this weakness versus strength in their effort to try to serve the target audience? Let's say the target audience say is the affluent mainstream Italians, Italian mainstream upscale Italians in Milan, Milan will be the weakness and strength, you think?
I think the weaknesses would be like the culture, because
Mm-hmm.
Italians are not
Right,
Chinese.
right.
So it's like the culture, there's a cultural difference,
Mm-hmm.
and probably also language
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The
and
strength, the strength would be
strain. Um, I'm not sure because I don't know how many of them would have actually heard of the show.
right. I think maybe one strength could be that Shen Yun has this bel canto, the new bel canto, classic, the real bel canto. And bel canto, of course, modern times originated from Italy, right? So Italian people may have a good tendency, better tendency to identify or to discover the original bel canto. That's a lost art tradition from their cultural heritage perspective. So that could be a good thing, right? The weakness, I think Yuan said that well, could be a language, the Chinese or Chinese traditional arts or Chinese legends, that they may not be very familiar with. You know. But good thing is, you don't really you don't need to understand Chinese or know Chinese to appreciate the show. So dancing and singing is, kind of universal. So, okay, very good. Any other questions?
No.
No, that's it? No. Okay, great job. Yeah, good job, Yang. Next week, we can cover chapter 10. There's nobody scheduled to cover that. Do we have any volunteer who wants to take on one more chapter? Come on, you sharpen your knowledge, your ability to to do some research and give presentation. I know each of you has two cases. It's just that this student is not making it, did not make it to the class. So we have one. Or any volunteer to take on one more? You guys are good.
If we do that one, then do we still have to do the individual presentation?
Yes, you do. Yeah, because that
Oh, okay.
I want you to. I want
I'm
the for
sure we
that
need the extra time for the Group project.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we can skip one then. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, we can skip 10. The next class next week will just be my lecture, and I don't know if I have time, I'll talk about the case. If not, we just skip that. Okay, and then we have chapter 11. Chapter 11 is Yen's turn again. Yen's turn again. Right. And I do need you to discuss about your group project, your in the beginning of class, I was talking to you guys about this, right? Let me share my screen again. Yeah. You see that? You see my screen? Okay. Yeah, you're gonna give your individual presentations on April 10th, right? All four of you, each one will cover one. You can talk about the same industry. So I don't care. It just identify a creative industry, pick one, and then talk about the industry and talk about the three top major players, top companies in the industry. Okay. I'll give you example. Yeah, I had student talking about say create software industry, or another student talk about the gaming industry. Another one was talking about performing arts, right? Uh, you know, you name it, whatever you want to do, talk about. Okay, that's for your individual, right? So on week 14, April 10th, every one of you will give a presentation. Presentation, I would say 15, 20 minutes. 20 minutes is good. Okay, 20 minutes individual. And then you have a group project together. The four of you need to work, collaborate as a group. In this case, I need you to pick a company from creative industry. Okay, so whatever company you four need to agree on and decide on to work on that company. It has to be from a creative industry, of course, right? And then you can to study the company's marketing strategy. Okay, marketing strategy from the product strategy, distribution strategy, channel strategy, and advertising promotions, you name it, pricing, everything. Okay. It's that audit of the entire marketing activity. Okay. And then you give your presentation on that. So you can divide the task among yourself and also determine how you're going to present it. All four have to be part of that presentation. So again, also as to the data presentation, since we don't need a second batch, right? We don't need a second day for individual presentation. So we can move the group presentation from the 24th to the 17th if you want. If you don't want, we need more time, we just can leave you cancel class on the 17th. So we're going to meet on the 10th, have you hear your individual presentations, and then skip, and then have no class on the 17th, and then on the 24th, you can have your group presentation. It's up to you. Yeah. Do you get, I guess, I can, do you need this forum to talk, or you have other ways for you to communicate?
We have a chat group, but can we set a time? Maybe we can do like a group call. Like, what time are you guys available? Like, sometime today, tonight, tomorrow night, the day after?
Thank you, Jenny. Yeah.
Uh,
Or do you have them right after the class? You can go to your chat room.
I have time today or Wednesday.
I'm fine whenever.
I can do tomorrow or Wednesday.
You guys want to do Wednesday then? Um, Early afternoon or late afternoon or morning?
Not
Can
the
we do
morning.
it?
I have class 2:15 to 3:30, and then I have class at 5, so it's not those times.
7 p.m.
I'm okay with that.
Wednesday
Okay,
at 7?
Wednesday at 7, we'll have a group call.
So what software do you guys use? You have a
And then how about we each propose something, whether it's an idea or something.
yeah, that's good.
Okay, sure.
Okay, Wednesday, 7 p.m.
Okay, very good. That's all for the day. Thank you, guys. Yeah, and
Thank
have a good day, good rest of the day, and see you next week. Bye.
Thank you.